Magic is all about a trick of the eye and the willingness to put oneself in danger. When things come together, you get a great trick. If not, you might have a death. Princess Tenko. Princess Tenko is known for her risky magic tricks and dramatic costumes. In 2007 in Sabe, Japan, one magic trick was almost her last. She was placed in a box and had to escape it before a bunch of swords were going to be pushed through. Unfortunately, Princess Tenko did not make it out in time, and she suffered broken ribs and a broken cheekbone. Incredibly, she was able to finish her performance first before seeking medical attention. Joe Burris. On Halloween night in 1990 at Blackbeard's Family Fun Center in Fresno, California, Joe Burris was attempting to escape from a glass coffin placed 7 feet underground while 9 tons of dirt were being placed on top as well as cement, all while chained up. Due to a false start, the chain around Burris's neck was too tight. Before he could try a second attempt, the cement crushed the coffin and he suffocated to death. Janaka Basnayake. Janaka Basnayake, a magician from Sri Lanka, wanted to break the record for the longest time spent buried alive. Usually, magicians escape the box and it's an illusion. The only magician to actually be buried alive was David Blaine, but he had a whole team on site to monitor his stats. On March 5th, 2012, Janaka got his family to bury him 10 feet underground, where he laid for 7.5 hours. When his family dug him up, he wasn't breathing, so they took him to the hospital where the 24-year-old magician was pronounced dead. Charles Rowan. In 1930, a South African magician named Charles Rowan was performing one of his most popular and yet most dangerous stunts. While a car sped at him at 45 miles per hour, Rowan was strapped into a straitjacket from which he had to escape in time or else he would be run down. Before the trick, Rowan wrote a letter exonerating the driver in case something went wrong. Well, something did go wrong, and Rowan was run over. His leg was pretty much amputated, and it caused him to bleed to death. George Lalonde. In 1936, George Lalonde found himself nearly stabbed to death during a classic trick. Most people know that when a magician is sawing their assistant in half, it's all a trick of the eye. But one spectator in Montreal named Henry Howard thought what he was seeing was very real. So he leapt onto the stage, grabbed a sword, and stabbed Lalonde in the neck. He somehow miraculously survived. Howard, however, thought he was performing an act of heroism and told police that he couldn't bear to see a woman cut in half. Jeff Rayburn Hooper. 23-year-old Jeff Rayburn Hooper was practicing a magic trick for the Winona Lake Bible Conference, which involved escaping from shackles while underwater. So he swam out 100 yards from shore to practice on July 7, 1984. While he did successfully free himself from the shackles, he had a hard time getting back to shore due to the high winds. The winds made it nearly impossible for anyone to reach Hooper in time, and he drowned. Madame Delinsky. In November of 1820, during a magic show in Arnstadt, Germany, a Polish magician and his wife, Madame Delinsky, were attempting one of the most dangerous tricks in magic, stopping a bullet with her mouth. While the trick is an illusion and only blanks are fired, sometimes things can go horribly wrong. The madam was facing a firing squad of 6 men and she told them all to load their guns with blanks. One didn't follow directions and shot her in the abdomen. She died 2 days later. The Great Lafayette. The Great Lafayette, also known as Sigmund Neuberger, was a German magician who was one of the most famous and highest paid magicians of all time. Right before he was starting his magic show run at the Empire Theatre in Edinburgh, Scotland, his beloved terrier named Beauty died. Lafayette got the local city council to agree to bury the dog in Pierce Hill Cemetery on the condition that he would be buried next to the dog when he died. During a performance on May 9, 1911, after he performed his famous Lion's Bride trick, an oriental lampshade burst into flames and the stage was set ablaze. Lafayette had had the doors locked to prevent people from coming in. 10 people died, including Lafayette, whose body was found under the stage. He would fulfill his agreement to the Pierce Hill Cemetery sooner than he thought. Genesta. Even the smallest mishaps can have deadly consequences. During a performance in 1930, the magician Royden Joseph Gilbert Raison de la Genesta's attempt at the infamous water tank illusion went horribly wrong. If a magician can't free himself in time before drowning, the locked lid can be bypassed since the neck of the tank can be moved. However, Genesta's tank had been dropped during transit, denting the neck and locking it in place. After failing to free himself, Genesta passed out and was taken to the hospital. Despite being resuscitated for a moment, he eventually died. Isla Fisher. While filming the 2013 film Now You See Me, Isla Fisher was supposed to be recreating the infamous water tank trick, but after her chains got tangled, she found herself in trouble after 2.5 minutes. She couldn't reach the button that would have drained the 70 gallons of water, and the tech guy with the oxygen tank was too far away. The worst part was when she was banging on the glass in a panic, people thought it was great acting. Luckily, she managed to stay calm and get freed before things turned deadly. Well, that's our video, folks. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought of these deadly tricks down below in the comments. And while you're here, check out these other videos, and please, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks.